It's Luke and Naomi.
Woohoo! Happy episode 44. I like woohooing after Homer does because,
Oh, perfect.
I match the energy there completely, too.
Yeah, something like that.
Happy episode 44. We are back, hopefully in better form than last time.
We'll see.
Well, why not? We'll see.
Yeah.
We're both pretty tired again. No, we're not. I'm kidding. All right. Episode 44. So last episode.
Yes.
Episode 43,
Yes.
if you haven't heard that one yet. The review, of course, was Blazing Saddles, but we also got... But, yes.
But.
Butt drugs. We got talking about butt drugs. The drugstore...
That's right. We got talking about butt drugs on Luke and Naomi On-Air.
Butt drugs, the drugstore in Indiana that went out of business, and it's too bad because it's the most hilarious name, and they really played it up. Their liquor section was called Butt Liquors.
Yeah.
And, the whole 9 yards. Well, I was told by Snowman to check out the jingle, which I, for some reason, just completely bypassed last week. So Snowman was like, you got to hear the jingle.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed it, and we're going to play it. Do you want to play it right now? Do you want to talk about it first? Or do you want, because we have to pretend that we know when we're playing it. So, I got to drop it into the audio afterwards. So
Then I think you play it now.
play it now. All right,
Yeah.
Here you go. The butt drugs jingle from Butt Drugs.
They got butt drugs. They love butt drugs. Butt drugs. Butt drugs.
I love butt drugs. And there you go. That was the butt drugs jingle. What do you think of that? Pretty hilarious, right?
I think they did such a great job with that. I really do.
And if you could only see the people that they used in, one guy had a mullet and then one of the greatest walrus mustaches I've ever seen
It's what you would expect in people in a commercial for butt drugs.
in Indiana.
Perfect.
That's
Yes.
right. So,
it's amazing.
Yeah, that was great. If you do get a chance to find that online, just to
Watch it. Yeah, absolutely.
Butt drugs, and that's all I can think of now. So
If I wake up tomorrow and that's stuck in my head, there is no one that I can be like, hey, no, it's okay. Butt drugs. I might get sent home from work if I start doing that.
I will not. I will make everybody laugh because they all know about it too.
Perfect.
We all know about butt drugs where I work.
Everyone at your work knows about butt drugs?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about butt drugs. So there you go. If you didn't have enough fun with it last week, I know Brian absolutely loved it. Sent me a sketch from the Sketch Show. I don't know if that is right from England, if that's Australian or what have you, but oh man, all about farting in a restaurant.
Perfect.
That was a good one.
Perfect.
I should probably post that on one of the socials, right?
Yeah, why not?
I should. We watched it just before we started recording too, so that's fresh. Just as fresh as butt drugs.
That's right. It's all fresh in our minds.
All right, I'm going to stop. So speaking of butt drugs, we didn't do much this week, but we did go to a coffee festival.
We did.
So, with the coffee and, making you poop and all that
Oh,
stuff.
perfect. Is that how you're trying to tie that together?
That
was
transition.
That was a little rough
Speaking
there.
of the butt drugs.
Yeah.
So we have been to many a beer fest.
Yes.
Probably a wine fest at some point.
Yes, we have.
And, other manner of fests, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But never a coffee fest.
This was the first one.
Wasn't sure what to expect, but it was exactly like all of the brew fests we've been to, where you just, you go around and sample coffee after
They
coffee
gave you
after
like
coffee.
the tiny little coffee mug that you could use for little samples, and you stopped at all these different coffee booths and tried like their best options of coffee that they brought with them. Some were making fancy drinks like iced lattes and things like that. Other ones had like coffee from a can that they like bottled themselves. It was really awesome, honestly.
It was.
I was so caffeinated. Oh my gosh.
It was fantastic.
I was flying.
And yeah, after, an hour and a half of sampling, and then,
That was a lot of coffee.
most of the stuff you get was just, it's their coffee black, and then,
Yeah.
but then there was the couple of, what was the one was just a cold brew, like cappuccino or some junk like
Yeah.
that. That was, whew.
There was some good
Good
stuff
enough
there.
for two.
Yeah.
And then, had a good nitro one. And yeah, but it was, wow, flying right after that one.
Absolutely. And it was, again, just like a beer fest where you stop at all the different booths and try what they have available. And, ooh, I like this place for coffee. Oh, they've got bags of coffee I can buy over there. Like, it was a pretty cool idea, whoever came up with this.
Yeah, the Wilmington Coffee Fest. I don't know how many years. I know they did it last year. I don't know if last year was the first year or what have you. But if you're in the area and you missed it this year, you got to check that out next year because it was pretty cool. They were also doing seminars, all about teaching you how to pick good coffee and how to roast it yourself and all of that
And
junk.
different, I don't know, machines that you can use to make different drinks and all that. They had legit seminars.
We get a quick schooling on grinding coffee, right?
But
from
that
one
was
of the roasters.
just random,
Yeah,
that was just talking back and forth about how they got started in coffee and the difference between, ground coffee and grinding up your own beans.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, our first ever coffee fest.
That's right.
That's what we did. That was the biggest thing we did, I would say, from the last week.
Yeah, we haven't really done anything, which
No.
is cool.
Watched more alone, and
right.
I've made some progress on my current video game. How about that? So
It's
pretty
the
solid
little
week.
things, yeah.
pretty solid week. All right, that is about it. So coming up in a few, we've got, of course, your review of Gangs of New York.
Yes. That was a long one.
It was a long one, definitely, but we'll get Naomi's full review on Gangs of New York in just a few, and we'll move right into the random facts for the week. It is your weekly dose of Did You Know? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you know? Do you know where 7-Eleven started?
No.
According to this, it was Dallas in 1927,
Okay.
and they only sold ice.
In Dallas, I can see that.
Right?
You would need it. Yeah.
Remember all the ice places, right?
Yeah.
So eventually it expanded to sell milk, bread, and eggs, and then evolved into the first convenience store.
And then became the big deal with the slushies that they have and all of that.
Slurpees.
Yeah, Slurpees. My
Yeah.
bad.
Have you ever had a Slurpee?
I don't think I actually have. Not from 7-Eleven,
Haven't
no.
had the 7-Eleven brand Slurpee, right? But
No.
aren't they the same thing as ices, pretty much?
I think, and I may be wrong on this, I feel like there's more liquid involved. At the end of the icy, you get kind of like a few chunks of ice there.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get that. And I'm only saying that because there was a place where I grew up where that was the place you went after school because they had
Ooh.
14 different kinds of slushies, Slurpees, whatever you want to call them. And they were always where you get every last drop. You never were left with ice at the bottom of it.
Okay, so more of a slush puppy then. That's
Yeah.
I guess what I would call it,
So good.
as opposed to what's the ice cone thing?
A snow cone?
That. Thank you.
You should have seen what he was doing with his hands
You
there.
knew what I was talking about,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, but it just looked weird. You had the cone shape in your hand, so you had that part right, and you were scooping on top.
Yeah.
I knew what you were trying to do.
Snow cone.
Yes.
Ice cone thing. That was close.
Yeah.
Did you know there are 40 different ingredients in a McDonald's Chicken McNugget?
Okay.
Now, do you think that's 20 different chicken parts and then some seasonings? Or is it 39 seasonings and chicken?
No, that's not
It's
the case.
definitely not the latter, is it?
No.
Yeah.
No. It's probably closer to 12 different chicken parts, and then some chemicals, and then seasoning.
Probably some pork.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like they would use that as a filler for some reason. Sawdust.
I have not had McDonald's chicken nuggets in so long, and
either.
I'm bummed. I used to love those
I
things.
grew up on them.
Yeah. And then I got them one time when I was 21 or 22, and they didn't taste the same, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't want this anymore.
The last time, I used to love the barbecue sauce. The last time I had the barbecue sauce, it was no.
No.
Almost every other fast food barbecue sauce is better now.
Yeah.
And every fast food chicken is better. Don't give me no chicken selects nonsense. I understand.
Nah.
I know they tried to get on board, but
Nah.
just no.
No.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, McDonald's.
everybody knows how we feel
Yeah.
about the Arches. 40 different ingredients in a McDonald's Chicken McNugget, none of which are chicken. How
That's
about
right.
that? Did you know this one's crazy. If you're driving 60 miles an hour and you sneeze, your eyes are closed for 50 feet.
Yeah,
Have
I've
you
heard
heard that
that
before?
before. Yep.
That's just a super. So if you're listening to us driving right now and you got to sneeze, pull over.
Yeah, but nobody's going to do
If
that.
you're in Wilmington and you're driving and you got to sneeze,
You will probably rear end somebody.
yeah, that's why the speed limit's 45.
Yep.
Because, damn,
Oh, yeah.
that's freaky. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard it before too, but
And just think of all those times where you take your eyes off the road just for a second.
yikes.
I'm just changing the radio station. I just read that text real quick. It was only 5 words. It's fine. No, it's not.
You're making a case for iRobot right there. Hey,
No.
robot, change the radio for me.
No, just pay attention to what you're doing. Sit in silence.
I wonder if Siri will let me call her robot. Can I nickname you Robot?
Oh,
Let's
gosh.
see
Please
what-
don't
let's
do that.
find out
No,
together.
please don't do that.
Hey, Siri, can I call you Robot instead of Siri?
Do you have it on
Oh,
silent?
yeah, I must have my volume all the way down because we're recording like I should. Actually, I didn't. I'm not sure I understand, is Siri's response.
Okay. Well, that's fine with me. Just no. I am not okay with it.
And leave it to Siri to not respond while we're recording. It's sort of like the donkey in the beginning of Shrek. I'm the talkingest damn thing you ever saw. We just watched Shrek the other night, and that's all I can think of is the lady doing it. I can talk. Now I forgot the whole thing she said. I'm the talkingest damn thing you ever saw. All right. The next random fact, the next little dose of Did You Know? I never say that, so I wanted
Yeah.
to. Manute Bol. Have you ever heard that name?
No.
Manute Bol is an NBA player for
Oh,
a while.
no.
7'7".
Okay.
One of the tallest, lankiest dudes you've ever seen, too. But he's the only player. Did you know Manute Bol was the only player in NBA history with more block shots in his career than actual points?
Wow.
That's a pretty impressive feat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, good on him.
All right, and one more. Did you know the oldest ice skates ever discovered were found in Finland around 2000 BC? They date back to.
Makes sense. They were
And-
playing hockey then.
Were supposedly made from the sharpened bones of cattle.
Cattle. All right.
Yeah, metal skates first appeared in the Netherlands during the 13th or 14th century.
Advances in technology and all that. You got blacksmith now that can, hammer some skates for you. Sure.
2000 BC. They
Yeah.
were skating around on ice in Finland.
And then checking each other.
Wow.
Bam, right into the boards.
Nobody said they were playing hockey.
What else are you doing with ice skates on? Come on now. Be serious here.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, they were playing hockey. That's why they invented skates, by the way. It was not for transportation or
Oh, gosh,
moving
no.
things around at all. It was straight up hockey. And then they
Chasing
were
a
like,
puck.
you know what this would be good for? A sleigh.
Yeah.
Hockey first. Always. All right. That is your weekly dose of Did You Know? Some random facts to get you through the week, I suppose.
Yeah.
Still haven't come up with a reason why. Just because I like them.
I was going to say, you don't need a reason.
You definitely don't. No. So we love all the touchscreen stuff in the car, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part, because when we were coming back from New Jersey, the car had sat in the parking garage for a week while we were on the cruise,
Yeah.
driving back, and it seemed like it took the touchscreen forever to catch up.
Yeah, it was having a hard time. It would say that we're like 2.3 miles away from our next turn and all that, when really we're like 1.4.
Yeah, so
Which you wouldn't think is a big deal, but yes, it is.
It
That'll
is.
really mess you up.
when you are somewhere where you don't know where you are.
Yes.
So not only that, but the actual touching of the screen was taking a minute to catch up and stuff like that. I don't know if it was because it was just a little chilly for the car or something like that.
Or it's not used to it's been driven every day. I think the longest we've ever had that car sit was 1 day.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I'm thinking of that as we were driving back. I'm like, man, here's a situation where I don't know if that touchscreen is so good. I mean, it's nice to have the screen,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to have buttons just so I could navigate to,
What
I
you
to,
need? Yeah.
and then click whatever. Well,
Yeah.
apparently that is the growing consensus around the auto industry because
People want buttons again?
yeah, I got this
Okay.
this story here where car companies are apparently full on planning to get rid of the big giant screens and everything touchscreen.
Okay.
So Slate.com apparently just did a big article on how they're ditching touchscreens and bringing back more buttons and knobs. And it's because drivers want that instead.
I understand. Plus, that computer technology, screens, and all that junk are expensive when they start to break.
Yeah.
Compared to a button, which will be fine.
I got to be honest, that's the first thing I thought of when the screen was getting slow. I'm like, man, when this thing decides it doesn't want to work anymore and I'm just not able to access half the features of the car, that's going to be a lot of fun.
We're just going to tape up a map.
That's just tape up a map. I love it. And we'll make it a map of like the Bahamas or something.
That's
like
right.
That. That's the
I don't
nav.
think we're on the right road here.
Or just put beach with an arrow.
That's right.
Oh, man. All right. So
And you just have to pick it up and kind of turn it as you make turns and stuff.
they are actually cheap as far as, I guess, putting them in a car because they cost like $50 a screen. So apparently car companies want to keep using them, but there's more and more evidence that having all your controls on a screen is dangerous because it's just like the distracted driving with the phone and all of that stuff. Now, our car doesn't let you enter any nav commands or anything like that while we're driving.
Right.
And change the radio station, that's about it. But, I mean, we've always been changing the radio station, so I guess they let us keep that.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so basically the same as texting and driving. And experts said it's weird that everyone knows texting and driving is bad, but no one complains how everyone's, quote, using an iPad, basically, while driving around.
Yeah.
You know, and now I've seen devices, I don't know if they actually work or not, but I've seen where you can get devices to plug into your car that'll let you run, like, your Netflix through that screen.
Oh, perfect.
So
that's smart.
That is yikes.
Yep.
The one time we were kidding around and tried FaceTiming somebody in the car, it's like, oh, no, I can't do this. That's not a good idea at all. So, you know, knobs and buttons, easier to find without looking, of course.
Yep.
And some younger drivers are just finding that out. So companies have started actually switching back to them in some of the newer models.
I'm here for that.
Could just be a temporary switch, though, which I imagine is going to be the case. I mean, it's got to be just a temporary thing, right?
It'll be like some cars will have it, some cars won't. One will look at it as the new feature is it's got buttons compared to the screen.
I mean, God forbid they just give you the option. Hyundai, whatever, that car. One of the few companies that hasn't gone all in on touchscreens yet, but their lead designer says buttons and knobs could go away for good as cars become more autonomous, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, now, if I've got the robot car driving for me where I can take a nap or play some cards or, you know, something, I so bad just want to play Yahtzee or poker driving down the road.
Why?
Because it'll pass the time better. I don't have to drive and, we, you know.
Just to say that you did,
No, because wouldn't it be fun as we're cruising down the road? Like, hey, what do you want to do? You take a nap, watch a movie, play some Yahtzee. You know, you got all these options. Have a picnic.
That's weird. Just... No.
You know, I hate eating while driving.
Yeah.
I could do that if the robot was driving.
Yeah, I just don't trust that robot.
I know. Someday. Anyway, once the cars, of course, can drive themselves, we won't need to keep our eyes on the road.
And who cares if there's a touchscreen in there or buttons or whatever?
Yeah, at that point, I'll just bring an actual computer with me or, you know, an actual iPad, or we'll have a drop-down TV.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Crazy. Speaking of AI, are you ready?
No, why do we always have to do 12 freaking AI stories? Is this about the AI Snapchat?
No.
I don't want to talk about that one. I'm not doing that, by the way.
But
everybody who's making the AI buddies and
Brando.
all that, no way.
So
I've seen that all over my Facebook, and I had to put Facebook down. I am done with all of this.
our honorary producer Brando has jumped onto that part with the Snapchat AI companion, whatever it is. Brando will message me now and tell me what it
buddy.
is. So I'll know.
Somewhere in between the two of that.
Yes, whatever, you know.
Friend?
What was the Chucky doll called before that flipped out and was in
I don't know.
possessed? Anyway, I'm not here for any of that either, right? But inevitably, it's going to be something that everybody has some sort of access to. You know, Microsoft's going to build it into the website or into the web browser, and it'll be like Clippy instead. Except Clippy will know that you're a deadbeat and don't have a job. And,
That's right.
I know you're not going to make a resume anyway, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
I know you won't take my advice, so just do it yourself. Anyway, that was just my computer from back in the day.
Yeah.
Con, if anybody remembers that one. So I stumbled across this.
Why are you looking at me like
Because
that?
it's not that I'm starting to come around or anything like that, but I could see this being a case here, maybe one or two of these. It's four things that pretty much everyday people could use the ChatGPT for.
Okay.
And so, I wanted to get your take. So, summarizing long documents. So you can have them read long reports for you and give you a summary. It's like an intern, but, what? They still don't get paid. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that doesn't change
just
anything.
like an intern.
So, hear me out here. All I've seen with that AI Snapchat stuff and all that, like, it doesn't know enough yet.
Well, okay.
So how would it know to summarize the most important information? It's going to give you a sentence out of there or just a piece of information that it decides is important, but isn't.
What if it takes words and mashes them up to other sentences?
Yeah.
Like all those words were in there. We just made this sentence for you. So this is legit ChatGPT, not the knockoff Snapchat's
I
fake
get
one.
that.
So it is a little bit better.
But still,
Making me stick up for it.
No, I don't think it knows enough of what we are looking for.
Okay.
I just don't trust that. I'm not going to be like, hey, summarize this report for me. If it's something that has to do with like my career or anything like that, because I'm not having this robot say it wrong, do it wrong, whatever, and now I'm losing my job or presenting the wrong information. Like, I trust myself more. I would rather spend the time and read the long document.
That's what people said when calculators first started coming out. I'm not using
I want to do the math myself.
QuickBooks.
4 plus 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8. Guys, it's 8. You don't need the machine to do that for you.
There was some 72-year-old accountant when QuickBooks came out that was like, I'm not using that computer. I can do it in my head better.
You make me sound so bad.
And you make me stick up for a damn AI. Writing emails for you is another thing. ChatGPT can write emails, or at least the first drafts for you. And there are some tools that can help like blaze through your emails by prompting how to respond to each one.
That I'm here for.
Right.
I hate sending emails. I sit and I reread it 5 times. I change words because I'm like, that kind of sounds pushy, or that you could definitely hear the sarcasm in that. Better change that around a little bit,
Yeah.
All right. Yes,
So
I'm here for that.
Right. So there's a decent,
As long as I get a double check. Read it before it sends it.
I'm still kind of here for the summarizing long documents because I wouldn't mind. But the thing is can that summarize legal documents? Like, hey, here's the important stuff.
But what if it misses? But what if it misses something important?
Read my iTunes things for. What if it finds hey, by the way, don't sign this because then Apple owns your dog.
Yeah, I guess for like the terms and conditions of stuff.
But I don't know if it can do that.
Because
specifically.
Look, if it can read the terms and conditions, because I'm checking, yes, I agree, whether I read it or not. So if it can do that and kind of summarize it for me, sure. But like a legal, well, I guess that's a legal contract, but a different legal contract, like you were saying, housing and stuff like that. Nah, I will sit through and I will read that mumbo jumbo.
What about your like a car loan or like that? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. It's like yeah, sure, I get it. Yeah, just give me the damn keys.
Yeah.
So that's a possible thing. Anything involving math, right? So it's just a faster calculator on because it knows how to do math. That's one thing that it is a master of is math, because it's a freaking computer. And we can teach it math because math has set, instructions and all that junk. So if you need
rules, formulas,
percentages, time zone stuff, if you need to know, if you're in one part of the world and you need to know the time zone in another part of the world, instead of having to look it up, I guess you ask Siri or ChatGPT. I don't know how this is new. Anyway, it does all kinds of conversions and stuff. That
Maybe it's
aren't
like
that
if you
easy.
do the full math, like, hey, my plane, or I'm taking off at this time
The
from
train is
where-
leaving Iowa at 9:52 a.m. carrying 95 people. In the
But
meantime,
it ends up in, California. So tell us the time difference. Like what time is it in California when you get there?
oh yeah, that always confuses me. If we're
Yeah.
looking for flights somewhere that change time
Yes.
zones, like wait, is it actually 6 hours or is that counting the time? No, I'm cross-eyed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I sat down and I figured it out once, but that was because we were only crossing like 2 time zones.
So that's something. Anything
But I
involving
forgot.
math, and I'm sure more complex math stuff. And
Yes. I mean, again, it does make sense, and they are here to help.
but you have to know
But-
what math you need it to use. So anyway,
Yeah.
and one more, explaining complex topics using simple metaphors. Apparently, it can do. So if you want to understand blockchains and the bitcoins and the Bitcoin mining and stuff like that, it can explain it to you by breaking it down. You can literally do the whole explain like I'm 5. There is a feature in ChatGPT where you can say explain it to me like I'm 5, and it will break it down. And you can ask it to use metaphors for whatever topic you want, which I'm totally here for. I love metaphors, but that's not bad, right?
I don't want to agree.
I know it. Neither do I.
But man, that would be so helpful when it gets to those complex, just anything that's very complex, because at one point I just stopped paying attention. I'm like, yeah, nope, you lost me. I'm done. I'm out.
And
See
now,
ya.
I'm wondering other things. Could it explain, like I've always had trouble learning how to like read music.
Oh.
I've tried several times in my life from when I was a kid, and I could just never wrap my head around it. I've even gone like to the books, for dummies, like the music for dummies and
Yeah.
stuff like that, or the Complete Idiot's Guide, or those types of things where they try to break it down real easy. And at one point, I had it and I just lost my grasp on it, and it was just so I wondered if it could help with something like that, and helping
I
you.
don't know.
See, here's where now, put that in a thing that follows me around the house. And then you know what? That's going to need to be able to hand me something every now and then. Might as well give it arms.
Nope. You're
And
going
then,
too
hey,
far.
Hold on.
No.
I could use some help getting the groceries out of the car. It needs some sort of legs or a treadmill or something like that. Just make it humanoid so that it can follow me around. You know what? I'm lonely. iRobot.
No. Oh my gosh. No.
I had to get it back to where we don't like this. So that's how I did it.
That absolutely worked because you know what? I can go without all of those things. If it's any of those things, but you make it a humanoid thing, no, I'm out.
But that's
game over.
It's just that slippery a slope to us
is.
using the little look, ChatGPT can help you do your stupid math homework, but then all of a sudden you've got a robot assistant.
But if it's gonna help me send emails, that is like the bane of my existence.
Right? Fantastic.
Oh gosh.
What a conundrum.
I
what an
know.
age we live in, as the man said once, I
Yeah.
guess. All right. That's it for the AI. How about some ridiculous questions to cleanse the palate quick before
Yes,
we get into our
please.
homework from last week? They say there are no dumb questions, but one time we did an entire 3-hour show about whether a hot dog is a sandwich.
Yes, we did.
And yes, it is. So how about a couple of more stupid questions like that?
All right, I'm here for it.
We're just going to rapid fire these. We can discuss at will. I almost was going to put up this whole list for next week's homework, but we found something better, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Can you smell air?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Why?
Saltwater air. There's a smell.
All right.
Boom.
So this was
First one. I win.
I believe BuzzFeed did this and asked a whole bunch of people and
Yeah.
stuff like that. 68% of people said yes. So you're not in the minority in that one.
Yeah.
32% said no, you can smell stuff in the air, but not the air itself. So the salt water in the air, but not the air.
I stand by my answer.
Well,
I'm not going backwards here. I'm not backtracking.
as we did to ruin the hot dog question, we looked it up, and the mixture of invisible, odorless, tasteless gases that surrounds the Earth is the dictionary definition of air. So odorless being in there.
Yeah, well, the dictionary's
The
wrong.
dictionary is wrong. It was just made up by some guy, you know.
Yep.
Wrong book. Let's see. Is tea just dirty water?
No. No. Dirty water. Dirty water is, after you soak in a bathtub or something, or wash dishes.
Or, throw dirt and
It's not dirt.
leaves.
It's herbs. It's
leaves.
herbs.
It's literally a plant from outdoors.
Yeah, but it's not dirty. I'm sure they clean it before they take care of it. Put it in the little bag or whatever, tea bag.
Tea, just dirty water. 18% of the people polled said yes, it is.
See, 18%. Nobody thinks it's dirty water. Get out of here.
I just think it's hilarious because, it is leaves from outside.
I want to talk to somebody who drinks tea all the time and just be like, hey, do you consider that dirty water? And just see the expression on their face. Because I bet you they'd be like, you don't get out of here, I'm going to slap you.
I feel the same way, though, when people call coffee bean water because, it is, but it's not.
It's different.
This one's deep. Is Santa having elves ethical? Okay, that's assuming they get room and board, but no actual money.
But they're jolly. They're happy.
Yeah,
they like what they do.
There's 3 jobs for elves. It's the big show at Santa's workshop.
Yeah.
You can make cookies
Yeah.
or do shoes. We've all seen the movie Elf where they talk about the
Yeah.
the jobs.
I think
It's
I
the
think
show.
it's ethical. It's fine.
It's
yeah.
the big show. That's where you
And if they
you
make
move up to.
cookies too, that's good. But you don't want to be making shoes.
They get all those toys and cookies, I'm sure, residuals. Everybody
yeah.
gets perks here and there and room and
And
board.
you
What
live
the hell?
there, yeah. And you're happy all the time. It's
That's great.
ethical. It's fine.
Apparently, the poll was split. 53% said yes, 47% said no.
Well, it was a BuzzFeed poll,
Yeah,
so.
Let's see here. Is a smoothie really just baby food for adults? I proofread this list before I read it, and it still didn't occur to me like it just did. Because it really is. Smoothies, now I've ruined smoothies for everybody, but yeah.
No, I'm
Here's
still
your-
going to eat smoothies. I love smoothies.
Here's your baby food.
It's not baby food.
Yeah?
It's turning.
What you got in there? Strawberries and bananas and probably mostly apple. A little bit of vegetable, I'm sure. Kale smoothie.
It's a treat.
Kale smoothie.
No.
That's full on, strained peas or whatever.
Gosh. It's not baby food.
I used
for
to steal my
adults.
sister's fruit baby food.
Yeah.
Feeding her one for you, one for me.
Yeah.
Or it was like, here, look, see, it tastes good. And then the Homer Simpson thing, you just
Where it's
roll it in
all
the jar.
gone. Yeah.
Hold on, let me get another one.
Oh my gosh.
Smoothies, just baby food for adults.
It's not. It's not.
Only 17% said yes to that.
See.
Does a pizza taste better in a square or a circle?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think square.
You think it tastes better in a square?
Yeah.
I love the square pizza, the Detroit style, and all of
Yeah.
that. It's fantastic. I think it's circle. I think it's just better in a circle.
It's better in a square.
75% of people said circle.
That's because 75% of people don't know how to. I don't know. I got no argument
Don't know
here.
how to come up with an argument for
But
it?
yep,
Oh,
yep,
that's-
exactly.
All right, and finally, is cereal soup?
If you put milk in it, sure.
You're just done.
It's the worst list we've ever done.
You're just done. I can see your face is just like, stop asking me these just terrible questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Is cereal soup? You put milk in there, you kind of let it soak all together, the flavors mix.
Yeah, but soup you cook.
I do have to disagree. I can't say that cereal is soup. That's just going too far.
You have to cook soup. You're not going to cook your cereal. So
And
no.
It has to be like cook for a while. You know, you
Yeah.
got your stock
You
and
gotta
all
simmer
that.
and all that.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you're letting soup simmer, you're doing it wrong. Or cereal. If you're letting cereal simmer, like that's just gross.
That's
first of all.
disgusting.
Yeah. You know, and if you're leaving it
Ugh.
for any length of time, I mean, no, just no. I'm not with that. I'm not about that life at all.
No.
All right, so there's the ridiculous questions that we're sparing asking
Everybody.
all of you because
But you can put your 2 cents in on the Facebook page. We
I
don't
would
mind.
love to hear it.
Yeah.
Is cereal soup?
I'm more curious about the adult baby food smoothie debate.
It is absolutely adult baby food.
Because it's not, though.
Why?
It just isn't. Like, a smoothie is a treat, you know? You're not going to eat baby food as a treat.
Babies might.
Babies don't have a choice.
You know, when you get to the little fruit ones, it's always the dessert.
gosh.
So I'm just saying.
No.
I think it have you. Hey, here's a quick, tasty way to get your nutrients as a treat for after you've done something. Here's a meal replacement that has all your nutrients right in it. It literally is. It is absolutely baby food for adults. It is.
Just no. Somebody fix that. Give me an argument for why it's not.
I'll
Help.
delete it. I'll delete
Help,
it right off the Facebook page.
please.
Oh my god, I love it. That's fantastic. That's it. That's the ridiculous question. So
Oh,
now,
thank God.
I mean, you know, how do you follow that up except for with crazy lunch food from the 90s or from everybody's childhood? It's
Yeah.
not necessarily the 90s. That was
Maybe
the
the 90s,
week before.
the 80s,
Let's see what we got here.
70s.
I absolutely forgot to have the answers correct. But weirdest thing in your lunchbox when you were a kid?
I don't think there was anything in my lunchbox that was weird as a kid.
Oh, I thought you were just going to leave it at anything in your lunchbox.
No.
So-
I barely brought my lunch to school. Most of the time I got like the cafeteria food. In the I think 3 months that I brought my lunch to school, it was like the legit standard lunch, like peanut butter and jelly or bologna and cheese. Here's some crackers and maybe an apple. You know, it was legit stereotypical.
That's
There was
great.
nothing weird. Nothing.
That's great.
Unless I left it from the day before and didn't eat it.
Wow.
That'd probably be the weirdest.
I went to a school for 3 years that didn't have cafeterias, so had to
That's
bring,
weird.
I had to bring my own lunch
Yeah.
all the time. So there was some odd stuff in there.
All right.
So I would say one of the weirdest things I ever brought was the chip dip that my dad makes and has made forever,
Yeah.
which is just a whole bunch of condiments together. Imagine like what is the Chick-fil-A sauce? Ketchup and mayonnaise, right? So imagine
so.
that with some good mustard in there and some garlic powder, even better. And
Of course.
perfect on potato chips. So I don't know how it wound up, but it just in my lunchbox I had some chips and some
There
dip.
you go.
And for months afterwards, I had kids coming out to me. Do you have any more? You know, did you bring that chip dip again?
Yeah.
I was like, even if I did, I'm not sharing with you. 'cause then I
Right.
could eat all my chip dip on me. So that's one of the weirdest things that I remember.
It's definitely
bringing.
unique. Yeah.
And off the top of my head, I don't remember anything that stuck out from like other classmates and stuff. But I'm sure there was over the years. But
Oh,
that's
of
why.
course. There's always somebody where
Yeah.
you're like, that's your lunch? What did you bring?
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you see these fancy ones. What was it? There was a whole span for, like a year ago, all over Facebook and TikTok where moms were making fancy lunches for their kids. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
There was a whole
There was
span
like
of
a
that.
TikTok thing.
Yeah, and it
like a
was
whole
just
thing.
like you're making sushi for your
I mean,
6-year-old.
For your 6-year-old, no. But
Get
do
the heck
that for
outta
like your
here.
high school kid or something, like when they could, really.
Do that for me.
need to pick me up
Adopt
at lunch.
me. I need lunch too.
Yeah, send me with some sushi. And actually, I
Yeah.
don't like sushi, so you keep that. But like the rest of the stuff, heck yes. So Snowman said he made a peanut butter and tuna fish sandwich as a dare one day.
No, that's disgusting.
And he says he actually liked it.
No. Ew.
I don't like that at all. That's
No.
terrible. So yeah, that's you. You're that kid, right? Snowman too.
I'm
you know?
sorry, Snowman, but you just lost 50 points.
They just paid you to do all of this stuff at recess, didn't they?
The tuna fish and peanut butter, and you actually liked it?
That's fantastic.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. James says my mom used to give me butter and jelly sandwiches, not peanut butter, butter.
Just butter.
3 squares of butter and a layer of grape jelly, and it was awful.
That does sound awful.
That-
Oh my gosh.
Yikes. Don says my mom gave us tofu hot dogs as punishment when we were bad. Sounds like punishment.
Well, you know what? You can't have real meat. Here you go. Suffer.
Let's see here.
Oh my gosh. That's horrible.
Steve says when I was in high school, my mother put cookies in an empty styrofoam Big Mac container along with my sandwich. When I opened my lunch bag with my friends in the cafeteria, they laughed their butts off when they saw how embarrassed I was because she used the Big Mac container.
Hey, it works. You know? Sandwich
Oh
in
my
there,
God.
Cookies, you're set.
Jerry
And
says
it closes, you know?
Jerry says peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
Oh, man, I love peanut butter and I love pickles, but I don't think that's something I could do.
No, maybe,
I don't know.
like a quick, but no.
I don't think I could do it as a whole sandwich.
I would have to do
might-
it as like a hold your breath and dive in type of like try it a little bit.
To try it, I would have like a pickle and put peanut butter on it and try that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And if I could handle that, I still don't think I could do
It would
it
have
with the
to be-
sandwich. You throw bread
Yeah.
in there too?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I can't. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Robert says my mother forgot to take the wrapper off my cheese on my cheese sandwich once.
Perfect. I can't get it. This is weird.
Raw hot dogs, mayo, and cheese whiz sandwiches.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. A can
The
of pop.
cheese whiz. That's perfect.
A can of soda wrapped in foil. Why? Because the foil keeps it cold, I guess.
Maybe.
Did we used to think that foil kept things cold?
I don't know. Probably. We thought a
Interesting.
lot of things.
Lettuce and tomato sandwich. My
Okay, it's
mother
like
made
a-
me diet.
Is that what that really says?
Oh, man.
My gosh. I was just thinking, like BLT, but just no bacon. Just lettuce and tomato. It's a salad sandwich.
Peanut butter, apple, and Miracle Whip sandwich.
Peanut butter, apple, and Miraquip?
Miracle Whip, yes.
Yeah. Well, the peanut butter and apple go together.
Well, peanut butter and grapes do. Why wouldn't peanut butter with other fruits? Strawberries,
Yeah.
grapes, apple. I don't think that would be banana. I don't think that would be bad. I'm not eating peanut butter and banana, but I would try peanut butter with apple.
Yeah.
But the
Miraquip just throws you right off.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
hate Miracle Whip. That's just I'm not big on mayonnaise at all anymore. Like, but even Miracle Whip, just yeesh. Butter and sugar sandwich on Wonder Bread. Wow.
I would eat that.
Let's see
Butter
here.
and sugar on Wonder Bread, which is basically butter and sugar and flour.
No, if you had given me that when I was like 9, I would have loved it.
Nah, I could do that now. I could do that now.
That's great. Oh my God. Well, good. Then we know we don't have to spend too much money.
That's right.
Elaine says eggplant parm sandwich. Not weird for a little Italian kid, but not everybody thought she was weird, but it was unique. That was
Yeah,
That was
absolutely.
different.
And then bringing it to school, someone might be like, where's your peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Just saying.
yeah. Pack of cigarettes, thermos of coffee, 4 sandwiches, bottle of aspirin. Dad accidentally grabbed mine.
Nice. That kid's got cigarettes over there.
I love it. Brando says his stepmother had this thing where she put strawberries in the lunchbox, and to get us to eat them, she would fill the sandwich bag with sugar. So, like, you're dipping strawberries in sugar?
Yeah.
Wow.
Strawberries are good
Yeah.
and sweet enough as they are. They don't need the extra sugar.
Oh, man. So
I mean, I'll put the extra sugar on there. That's fine.
Brando says totally a tremendous amount of sugar. He's like, but got me to eat them.
Yeah,
And he had kids asking for it in his lunches.
It's perfect.
Trade you this bag of sugar. Oh my God, that's great, Brando.
Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Oh.
Paul says peanut butter and jelly and cheese sandwich. He says his older brother told him it was cool.
No.
So he always asked for it even though it was horrible. Paul.
Your brother's mean.
He goes, I found out years later he was joking with me. Love you, bye.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's
horrible.
great. That's oh my god.
Found out years later.
My brother
How many
told me it was
sandwiches
cool.
did you just kind of scarf down because you're like,
Freaking terrible, but I'm gonna eat it because he said it was cool.
said it was cool. And you know, the older siblings know, so
Oh
you
my
do what they
God.
say.
That's
Oh gosh.
that's a great answer, Paul. That's just fantastic.
That's a winner right there.
Oh man, Brian from England's got one too. He says when he was in middle school, they were on a field trip, a school field trip. They went to the zoo, and one of the other kids came on the trip with just a box of frozen fish sticks.
Do you got a microwave I can heat these up in?
Oh my god. Well done, Mom, or Dad, or Grandma, or whatever it was.
No, they'll thaw throughout the day. It's fine.
Hey, I was just gonna eat those raw, man.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one too. Nicely done, Brian. Paul, that's
Oh
killer,
my
man.
gosh.
How many? I need to know. I mean, you don't have to tell everybody. You could just text me, but I need to know how
He
many.
said he found out years later.
How many of them
Like-
sandwiches did you eat? Like, can you estimate? That's hilarious.
That's so bad.
That is a great brother prank. I mean,
It really is.
that is a great brother prank. That should be on a sitcom somewhere. That should be a joke, somewhere on TV or in the
It will
movies.
be.
That is
you
great.
know, yeah.
All right. Fantastic job with the homework this week. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Weirdest food in your lunchbox when you were a kid. That was a fun one to do. We're gonna go throwing it back again, as we do.
Yeah, we like to.
Love thinking about the past and all of that stuff. This time we're going a little bit more adult, a little more grown-up themed.
Yeah.
What's something you used to order at a... Oh, I just thought. My dad used to give me bologna and ketchup sandwiches on white bread. I don't know if that's weird to everybody, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Bologna and ketchup.
Yep. Bologna and ketchup. That just popped into my head. So that's what I used to take to school. All the time.
I can't say that's weird.
Did you eat bologna and ketchup too? Okay, so maybe it's not weird. It just feels weird to me looking back because...
I don't think it's that weird. Only because that your mention of that unlocked a memory, you know?
Yeah. Did you like it?
I did not eat bologna and ketchup sandwiches. I ate ketchup sandwiches. But it was before I went to school. It was when I was younger than that.
Yes.
It was bread, Miraquip, cheese, and ketchup.
That's disgusting.
It's probably why I don't care for ketchup anymore.
Yeah, well, stop eating Miracle
Well-
Whip too. Damn. That's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
All
I
right.
cannot believe that that just
That
popped
just
in
popped
my
in
head.
your head, right? Yeah, just like mine for some reason. The bologna and
Yeah.
ketchup jumped in there right at the end.
Ketchup sandwiches,
All right.
man.
All right. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's abundant. Ketchup.
Cheap meals.
You got all those
It's-
packets just floating around at the bottom of the fridge. and
That's right. Just squirt one of those
the
on there.
drawers.
That's so disgusting.
All right. That's a great way to wrap it up, too. So, what is, for the new one, for the new question for next week, something you used to order at a bar that you would never, ever order now?
I got a long list for that.
There is a bit of a list. So, this just kind of hit me recently, probably when we were on the cruise. I was thinking of this because it was like, yeah, we're all gathered together. We're celebrating birthdays. Hey, let's do a round of shots for everybody and,
Yeah.
look around the table. And it's like, okay, well, nobody here's in their 20s.
And you start really narrowing
It's
down
like,
the shots
well, so
that
we
you're
can't
about to do.
Can't do that one. Oh my
We're
God,
definitely
nobody-
not doing that.
Nobody would want one of those.
Yeah.
I can never have a Jaeger bomb ever again in my life because I
Yeah.
just can't drink Red Bull anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, 2000s. But, so like something that you just used to order at a bar all the time.
And you can't.
I have more answers for this one, as will Naomi, I'm sure, for next
Oh,
week.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, something you used to order at a bar that you would never order now. And I'm thinking of like a couple of more and more are flooding in as I'm just reading that off the screen. So what is something you used to order at a bar that you would never order now? Sorry for making you feel like crap about getting older.
That's all right. Misery loves company. We're all in the same boat here, As, what is it, Smash Mouth said, the days
Thanks.
start coming and they don't stop coming.
We
That's
did
what
watch
it is.
Shrek recently, as
right.
I said at the top of the show. See how many more Shrek references we can cram in before
Every
the end of
time
this
we
one.
do, you have to take a shot.
That's right. That's
Of
right.
one of the drinks that you wouldn't drink again. Full circle, guys.
Full circle. There you go. Okay, so looking forward to that one. I'm going to try to have that answer or that post up as soon as possible. Really going to try to stay on top of that one because Snowman's been calling my bluff and just commenting anywhere.
Well, good.
No, I love it because at least he's thinking of us. And
Not only that, but makes you go searching for.
That's
It's
right.
like searching for clues.
get a notification. It's like, oh, I think I know where he left. Nope.
Nope, not there.
I had to get it.
Is it there? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. It's on a post from
But
2 weeks ago.
That is dedication that we appreciate like
Yes.
crazy. So
Yes.
I also have been, oh, you know what? I didn't even think of this until just now. I have been putting up the question on Spotify again. 'Cause
Oh,
I know
okay.
we have a handful of listeners, a good handful of listeners on Spotify. So,
So you want to see if anybody left a comment on there?
oh, thank God. Nobody did.
Okay, there you
Oh,
go.
you can. But I'm happy that I didn't miss any now.
Yeah.
So,
Can't forget about anybody there. Yeah.
Luke and Naomi On-Air
You
on
know-
the Facebook page. Go there. Hopefully I'll have the post up by the time you're hearing this and you can answer the question.
Snowman's just going to go on Spotify and leave his answer now.
I love it. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. All right, fantastic. So there you go. That covers everything up until the review time, huh?
How do we transition into this?
I never know how to transition into Naomi's Under a Rock review of Gangs of New York.
That's right.
I'm excited for this. I was happy to watch Gangs of New York. So we don't always have, the 11 hours to watch a Martin Scorsese film, basically.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how long the movie is. The fact is, while I'm taking notes, I press pause so I can write down some notes and then start the movie. So this becomes a whole afternoon, evening event.
It usually does, yeah.
So when the movie's already a really long movie, like...
It adds a good, without exaggeration, a good 25 minutes to
Oh, I think it's more than that. I felt like it almost added an hour yesterday.
maybe, yeah, because it was a longer movie. So, yeah, depending on which film. But I'd say on average 20 minutes, 15, 20
least,
minutes, something
yeah.
like that. So, Gangs of New York 2002, Martin Scorsese got Daniel Day-Lewis. I believe he won an Oscar for it. DiCaprio's in it. He's really good in it. Cameron Diaz is there. I love for a really, really long movie. I love the historicalness of it. It's fairly accurate too in a lot of the tellings of the goings on of the day in it's 1862, I think.
Yeah.
The majority of the movie's set. So pumped to watch it again. And that's take it away. Let's hear what you got.
So let's see how well I took notes, because I felt like I didn't take as many notes as I normally do, and then I was scrolling through this and went, nah, I took a lot of notes.
I thought you did pretty well.
So we'll see how well I keep the storyline moving here. So first thing off the bat I noticed was the snow. And the snow in the movie was definitely making me cold. Well, they honestly...
The opening scene.
Well, they did a good job with that. You hear the snow crunch. You see the snow kind of fall around the boots and all of that, where it legit, reminded me of winter in the north. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm cold. Where's my blanket? Anyway, so it looks like we're going into battle and going to kill each other over this area. Is this like turf wars or something? You've got... Whatever. Everybody's about to... there's going to be a bloodbath here.
Turf wars, religious wars, political wars. It was all kind of the
basically,
same.
it was just let's all fight each other.
All of it kind of combined, yeah.
So right off the bat, everything's pretty brutal. Everybody's basically killing each other. They, give you some good shots of slashing people in the face. Some girl with the claws. It just is
Hellcat Maggie. That's that character's name.
Yeah, and just a lot of blood and death starting things off. So we got the priest guy. He was the leader of the dead rabbits.
Priest Valen.
Yeah, and he's killed. He gets stabbed. I actually thought he was going to be a main character in this movie. So guess not. That went down the drain real fast there.
Liam Neeson as Priest Valen.
Yeah, and I recognized that was him right away, just because anytime he opens his mouth, you hear that voice, and you go, oh, the Taken guy. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Taken guy. Yeah, for real at this point.
Yes. Sad, though, the poor kid, had to watch him die, Then that kid ends up running off. He's got the knife that killed his father? Is the priest his father?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure because, a priest is a father, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I was a little confused there, but I didn't know if he was an orphan and, like, the priest had taken him in or what the case, or if it was legit his father. Honestly, it probably doesn't matter either way. All right, so now we see the kid all grown up, Leonardo DiCaprio, or Amsterdam. We're in New York City. It's the Civil War's going on.
Yeah, it goes from whenever to 1862 is when DiCaprio arrives, and he's grown up and all that.
Yeah, and so again, Civil War's going on. There's a lot of protesting in the streets. Both sides of people, wanting the Civil War and not wanting it, and it's just it's honestly just kind of a bummer, just kind of just sad.
Something a little too familiar
Yeah.
about all that, right?
And then the sadness that follows, like the Irish hate. You've got all these like Irish folk getting off the boats into New York City to, start a new life and all that. There's signs about New York City being overrun by the Irish. There's families like getting off the boats and people are like throwing rocks and fruit and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just like, geez, can you imagine traveling to a new area and just being bombarded like that? Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So then, Amsterdam's over there and connects with an old friend that had saved him in the beginning.
Yeah, as he was running away from the police or from Bill the Butcher's guys. He was running away back into like the church missionary thing to
and
go
this
underground.
kid saved him.
Yeah, the kid tripped up a bunch of guys and gave him, the time to get away.
Yeah, so he meets up with him, which is pretty cool. Like, hey, you remember me and all of that. All right, so we got a little bit of like storytelling about what's happening in the area since I guess Amsterdam left and came back. So you got all the firefighters that fight with each other. That is a ridiculous scene beyond belief. My next note just said, what the heck? Is everyone just one big fight in this movie? Everything just one big fight in this movie? Everybody fighting everyone?
There is a great line as the movie is starting where it's DiCaprio's voiceover, something about the city at that point wasn't much of a city except for maybe like the forge that could start, that a city could emerge from.
Yeah.
Because it was just war chiefs and different crews and all of that stuff, which is just intense to really think about. To think of New York City as, and being so unsettled and just crazy.
Yeah. Well, that, and again, the firefighting scene, too, where you've got, one team of firefighters basically arrive on the scene of this house fire to put out the fire and everything. And then you've got the next group that comes rushing in. And instead of either one of them fighting the fire, they just start attacking each other. And then you've got some guy who put like a barrel over the fire hydrant and is sitting there so nobody can get it actually to the water.
Yeah,
and it's
that
just
was,
like,
wow.
What the heck is going on? And then while the fire is happening, you got people going in there and looting and just like taking stuff, It was insane. There was a lot of like just random like insane scenes throughout this movie. Basically quilt work of insanity.
Yeah, very uncivilized at the time.
Yeah. So now we get to this bar scene, this gambling, card playing scene, all that. That was a little intense. Amsterdam and his friend end up coming face to face with the butcher, the guy who killed the priest in the beginning.
Bill the Butcher Cutting.
Yeah. And so Amsterdam and the butcher kind of make eye contact, and Amsterdam kind of looks away and is basically just saying, basically are just saying, not much of a man, won't look me in the eye kind of thing. But it doesn't seem like the butcher knows who Amsterdam is, which is probably a good thing. But still very, very tense situation. And now we get to a good fight scene. The older guy, the I don't even know who he is. He's bald and just kind of stumpy. I don't even know who he is. He's one of Bill the
name?
Butcher's buddies. Are you trying to look it up?
Yeah, because of all of the players in the movie.
I just call him the old guy throughout the entire movie. Everybody else has a name. The butcher,
McGloin?
the barber.
The short Irish guy, McGloin.
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's bald and he just looks like a weasel.
Yes.
That guy insults Amsterdam, so they're going to have a little brawl. And of course, they have this sophisticated fight. Like they're both getting ready to fight and all that, and they throw off their jackets, you know. The fists are up, and it reminded me of Oh Brother, We're Out There, where they got like the one arm way out there,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like
the old school style of boxing. That was legit.
It just looks goofy,
That's
though.
how they fought.
But anyways, that's what these guys
Oh,
did.
brother, where art thou? That's great. That's a good pull
that's the first thing I thought of. Yeah. So Amsterdam throwing a bunch of punches, doing pretty good. That's awesome. Old guy is gonna get his butt beaten here. It was a very intense fight there.
It was a good one.
Then we meet Jenny the pickpocketer there, Cameron Diaz,
Yeah,
right?
Jenny Everdeen.
Yeah. She just shows up at some rich person's house and then acts like she's a maid, sneaks in the back door, and is basically robbing them right in front of them.
In broad daylight.
Yeah. Just
Love
stealing everything. Yeah.
And I love the scene as that's happening too. The voiceover is talking about how every job has a name. And
Yeah.
so, like, there's a name for her because she's a pickpocket, and that's like a bludger. And then there's when she goes into the upscale people's houses and pretends she's a maid and steals from them, that's called a turtle dove.
Yeah, I was just going to say turtle dove.
And
Yeah.
and you know, he runs off a list of like 4 or 5 other ones also during that scene too. It's just great.
Yeah, but that's what she did. She just, she didn't even break in. She walked in and just stole a bunch of stuff. And then I had a little note about being a little jealous of the rich people because even in the 1800s, everything looked really fancy and you knew they had money.
They
I was
probably
like, oh,
still
okay.
smelled bad.
Yeah, probably.
On
It's the
some level.
1800s. Yeah, we all did, you know. So the barber, we see the barber who, back in the beginning, the first scene of the movie, opens the door for the priest and everybody as they're heading off to this turf war and all of that. The barber definitely knows who Amsterdam is. There is no denying that. And at this point, I realize that Amsterdam has got to be plotting his revenge, right? He's getting close to the butcher because he's gonna kill him and, claim all this turf, the 5 points, that whole area, and then just basically run everything.
Yeah.
And then, avenge his father's death and all of that stuff. That's got to be the point.
Monk, that's his name. Brendan Gleeson as Monk, the barber's name.
Okay.
Yes.
He's the barber. So the corruption is just horrible in this town, and we get to see a lot of that in those scenes.
Oh, man.
Get to the point where it's we got to hang a few people to get the residents off my back. Okay, how many? 4. Okay, say no more. We'll get you 4 people to
3 or 4.
hang.
Which one?
Yeah.
4.
That's really messed up.
It is.
There's a lot of messed up scenes like that throughout this movie.
Boss Tweed is the guy who says we've got to hang some people and
Yeah.
stuff like that. He also has the line in the movie where it's something along the lines of we've got to uphold the law even if we have to break it to do it, or something like that. Or
But between that and then there
maintain the illusion of law and order, or something like that, even if we have to break the law to do it. It's just crazy.
between that and then, again, they're buying votes of people that come into town, and it's just there's a lot of corruption going on here, and it's all, political and money and all of that, and it's the 1800s. Come on, man.
Yep, pretty much. Even the politicians were their own gangs.
Yeah.
The whole Tammany Hall thing, which is just, I don't know anything about other than from what's in this movie. It just makes me want to learn so much about New York City and that kind of crazy
like
history.
what
of it
really
stuff.
happened back then.
Yeah, for real.
All right, so we get to the dancing scene. Not a fan of this. So we got Jenny, the pickpocketer, and she's the pretty one, so we're going to sit her down. She's going to have a mirror. All the guys are going to kind of line up, and she's going to, either yes, dance with him, or no, she doesn't want to dance with him. So first, she should have picked Amsterdam's friend, that sweet guy that liked her, But no, she wanted to pick Amsterdam, and he didn't like her and all that kind of stuff. But it was just such an awkward scene. And then the dancing part was awkward. First of all, they're all holding candles. And they're dancing between like wooden handrails and staircases.
Oh yeah, all the old like dusty wood that they make sure they show you is old and dusty. And then, you know what we should have here? Extra fire.
That's right. But also, like, you can't move around. You're dancing in, like, between two. Yes.
Catwalks. Yes.
Who decided this?
That's great. That's the only space they had, apparently.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. Great. Perfect. Now we're moving on to the theater scene. That got really intense, too. So it's, I don't remember what the play was that was like being portrayed.
Story, it's like a story of Lincoln and stuff like that.
But I feel like it was called like Uncle Tom.
Was it Uncle Tom's Cabin?
Yes.
That's what it is. Okay.
So that's the show that was being put on. They've got Lincoln, and of course you've got a very riled up group of people here who don't care about the story or anything. They just came there to make a scene and all that, and they're throwing fruits and veggies and tomatoes and everything on stage, and they're yelling about just the whole Civil War in general. You've got all that going on, but you get this very uncomfortable, eerie feeling as well. So shout out to the director for that, because
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, you could definitely feel like something bad was coming in this situation. What? I forgot his name. I knew it was I was gonna say sorcerer, and I was like, that ain't right.
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
You've got Naomi's approval.
Yes, you did.
I love it.
You know, that's very valuable there. Please don't trade it in.
Well done, Marty.
So you got this very uncomfortable, eerie situation, and I was trying to place it because I don't think you hear music that gives you an eerie feeling. Maybe it's just the way the cameras are moving or something. You just know something's going to happen, and sure enough, the butcher gets shot. He gets shot. It's such a chaotic scene as it happens.
Yeah.
He got shot what looked like in the chest. I mean, we find out later it's the shoulder, but still, it's a bad shot. There's blood all over him, and you're thinking, well, this is the end of this guy.
Right.
So what happens next with all these political gangs and all of that kind of stuff? But we end up going to a party, because that's what you do after you get shot. It's party time. Drinks all around. Lots of naked women everywhere. It's basically just a celebration that he lived, I guess. So this is where Jenny and Amsterdam end up hooking up, which we kind of figured was only a matter of time anyways.
Surprise, the leads got together.
Yeah. Didn't see that one coming. Then it's awkward. Okay, so they end up hooking up. They fall asleep. The butcher comes in where Jenny and Amsterdam are sleeping in this bed, and he's just like sitting in a rocking chair or a regular chair or something, just staring at Amsterdam until he gets up, which is just creepy. Basically tells Amsterdam the whole story about killing the priest, and how it was like the only man he killed that was worth remembering was this guy, just because they like fought nobly together. I don't know, not together because they were against each other. Talked about how he fought him before.
Yeah.
And the priest had spared his life, and like he felt shame or whatever, ended up cutting out his eye and like giving it to the priest. I don't know, really weird stuff.
Yeah.
Basically ends in the idea that the butcher's basically admitting to Amsterdam that he's like a son to him, where it's just, I never had a son. And by the end of that, ends up patting him on the head and kisses his head or something like that. You can tell he's basically calling him his son at that point. And just something's going to go down with that because, again, Amsterdam knows this guy killed his father.
Oh, yeah.
And is just playing this game of, no, it's cool. It's cool, Dad. It's cool, buddy. We're friends now, all that. So we know it's got to be coming up. Amsterdam is going to end up killing the butcher. And then Jenny, she ends up waking up or was awake through this and just didn't say anything. Jenny's asking him who he is.
Who are you? She
Who
says.
are you? Who are you? And
Yeah,
there's
you don't want to know.
there's a moment of silence there. I paused it right then and there, and I wrote a note, and I just said, I'm yelling, don't you dare say it. You can't trust her. You just met her. And you guys, you banged. That doesn't. No, do not tell her. That's a bad idea. Thank God he doesn't. But I didn't trust him on that one. I thought he would, I don't know. Guys do dumb things for girls.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that, so Amsterdam's friend is the one that ends up ratting him out. Probably has something to do with the fact that he liked Jenny.
A little jealousy
and
there, you think?
He saw them hooking up.
You think?
So, yeah.
Bit.
The stupid things that guys do for girls, That's one of them right there. Hey, you're going to get your friend killed because you were a little jealous. You couldn't hold on to your jealousy just a little bit.
Well, what ended up happening to Johnny?
We haven't gotten that far yet. All right, so now it's going to cost him his friend's life. He just basically tried to kill his friend, the same guy who saved him from a burning building earlier. When we were talking about the firefighters all fighting and all that stuff, they went in to loot. And Amsterdam ended up saving his life, But no, that's fine. Get him killed because you're jealous. That's cool. All right, where am I? I was a little mad about that one.
It's
That was
not
dumb.
a Under a Rock review without Naomi scolding one of the main characters.
Yeah, he's not. He's a
Supporting.
co-star.
He's a
Yeah,
supporting.
supporting actor.
Oh, that's great.
All right. So now, with everything going down the way that it is, so Amsterdam ratted it out, or not Amsterdam. Amsterdam's friend went to the butcher and basically said, do you know who Amsterdam really is?
Yeah.
And told him. So now we get to the scene where it's another celebration because it's always fighting and parties. That's all that's going on
The
in this
next
entire
party is
movie.
the anniversary of the battle with Priest Valen.
Yes.
So it's that whole celebration.
Yes. So, they call the butcher on stage because he's amazing, trick shot with the knives and all of that kind of stuff. They want to see him throw the knives and all that. And he calls up Jenny, his first assistant, up on the stage. So my first thought is, okay, well, he's going to kill her.
Yeah.
If he kills her, it's basically getting at Amsterdam, at least getting under the skin a little bit there. I figured he would just pretend to accidentally mess up or something like that. He'd probably do that if he's going to hurt Amsterdam now that he knows who he really is. So he doesn't end up killing her, but he does cut her neck. That's pretty intense.
Got
there.
pretty close. You got, he put a scare into her because she had been with him.
Yes.
But then he had found out that Amsterdam is Valen's kid, so now he's pissed at both of them. And,
Yeah.
So he gave her a little bit of a fright.
Yeah, but he cut her neck.
A little bit, yeah.
That's scary beyond belief. Amsterdam has got to know at this point. This is the battle. Here we go. This is coming. My next note says, "Oh shit, I didn't expect that." All right, so that is at the point where the butcher is doing his usual ritual where he pours his drink and lights it on fire and has his little speech that he does.
Yeah.
And so we're at that point. So Amsterdam throws a knife from behind his back as the butcher's going to take the drink. But the butcher knows and sees what's happening. Sees the knife come in and then blocks it. Then throws another knife and says, "That's a wound." Because earlier in the movie, when the butcher is taking Amsterdam basically under his wing, the butcher's, cutting up a pig and basically explaining that, the pig's flesh is the closest you can get to the human's flesh, and then talking about where the liver is and the lungs and the stomach and all that, and then showing him, like, what's basically, like, here,
a kill shot.
Yeah, this is a kill, this is a kill, this is kill, this is a wound. So he basically did the same thing to him. Like, hey, I'm not going to kill you, but there's your wound, Got Amsterdam right in the belly. Wounded him. Did not kill him, which that I was really surprised. Like, it just...
He should have.
Well, hindsight's 20/20. Yeah, he should have killed him, but, that was just not what I was expecting at all. I did not see that coming. And then, he carries him, gets his goons to carry him, throw him on this big table, and is basically like yelling to the crowd, what should we do with this guy? Ends up burning his face, so, everyone will know he'll stand out. And just a reminder, like, hey, you messed with me kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, so now Amsterdam has been resting for months on end after being burned and stabbed and all of that. Looks like he's going to bring back his father's tribe or gang, whatever you want to call them, the dead rabbits. He ends up hanging a dead rabbit in town, and the butcher sees this and is basically telling the cops, like, you got to go after this guy for this. And then Amsterdam comes back and kills that cop. Definitely kind of sending a message there that he is not scared of what the butcher plans to do.
No shake and bake there, right?
No.
John C. Reilly is the cop she's talking about. So one of his, before he went to comedy, John C. Reilly in a couple of serious movies. As soon as Naomi saw him, and it's in the beginning, in the opening of the movie, where they're marching through the tunnels of the missionary and stuff, and he's all geared up to fight. Naomi's like, she just gives me this look like, is that really John C. Reilly?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Cal Naughton Jr.
It's so weird to see him in serious roles. And, like, he does good in them. But I know him as...
It's Cal Naughton Jr. and whatever, Dale from... Is it Dale or is he... No, he's Dale, right, from Step Brothers?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. I just know he's in Step Brothers. He's the step brother.
Dragon.
Like...
Or Nighthawk.
That's how I know him.
Yeah,
it is.
It's got to be
so
strange.
Weird to see him. And then especially because, like, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but with, like, his hair, he's a goofy-looking guy.
Yeah, right.
To play a serious role when I know you as a jokester, and you look goofy. Come on.
That's right.
Anyways. All right, so Amsterdam kills the cop, kills him. Definitely sending that message. He's got to win this war, right? I mean, he's the underdog, so he's got to be the hero of this story, right? Because I don't know. I don't know where this movie is going to take us, and we've got more left than I thought. So the barber is going to be sheriff. We've gotten to that point here, where basically they're going to hold an election, and they want an Irishman to win the election.
Yeah, at this point, the Boss Tweed has turned on Bill the Butcher.
Yes.
And is aligned with DiCaprio and his dead rabbits. Let's get one of your Irishmen elected, so that we can get the Irish vote for Tammany Hall and try to get some semblance of order while we're also robbing everybody blind, basically.
Yes, exactly. So only right after that, the barber is going to be sheriff and all of this. The butcher is standing out there while the barber is standing by the door and everything. And, he's basically trying to get him to come out so that they can have a fight. And the barber is like, yelling to the townsfolk, do you see what he's trying to do and all of that? And basically looks at the butcher and is like, come on, let's go inside and try to settle this. And as soon as he turns his back, the butcher throws an axe in his back, which that I was really bummed. I liked the barber.
He's great.
Yeah, I liked a few of his lines and everything. And he seemed like he was doing the best with the cards he was dealt.
Yeah.
So you want him to make it to the end, but no, because, this is one of those, this is Game of Thrones in 2002. Basically, everybody's got to die, apparently. I guess we should have saw that coming, though, because it's not like the butcher is very civil. At this point, I said something about I thought we were going to get a happy ending, but I'm a little bummed because I doubt that's going to happen. All right, so we got the funeral for the barber, the carriages going through the town, yeah. And the butcher, I don't know if he says anything, but he ends up spitting, and Amsterdam's all fired up. Runs, walks fast over to him, and just goes, challenge. The butcher says, challenge accepted. Ooh, that was tough. That was a good scene in this movie.
Very
challenge.
tense, yeah.
Challenge
Very heavy
accepted.
scene.
And that was it. That's just that. Badass. Liked it. So then they end up negotiating the terms of the fight. Again, very sophisticated. When they talk about fighting, they get serious about this. It's like basically drawing up the plans for the duel. What time are we doing this? What weapons are allowed? All of this kind of stuff. At this point, I'm really hoping Amsterdam wins. You got to have that happy ending, or at least a not so terrible ending, because this movie has been pretty deep and bumming me out at this point.
Not so terrible ending. I like it.
Yeah,
That's great.
well, like they're always fighting, and there will always be fighting, and we'll never all get along, and there will always be the underdogs in society, and the only way to climb that ladder is to buy your way up, and it's just bringing me down, man. Bringing me down a little bit.
That's great.
All right, we're getting to the end here. We've got mobs running amok in the city. You got two big gangs about to fight, and these mobs have gotten out of control. I mean, they're breaking into buildings, they're stealing, they're looting, they're just killing people. It's just all hectic and crazy. So you've got that. You got the mobs running around. You got two big gangs, and they're walking up, about to fight. You have the police force coming in, all of this, and all of a sudden, freaking cannons start going off.
Because of it was actually draft riots from the first ever military draft in the U.S.
Well, that's how the mob started.
Yeah, the shop owners were so mad because they thought, first of all, they were against a war with the South in the first place because some supply lines, and they sent goods down, got goods from, so local merchants were real nervous about that. But then, of course, now you're shipping all the customers out, and then the family members and stuff like that. So that was a legit historical accuracy in the movie.
But they're all about to fight, and cannons start going off.
Yeah, it's the last thing you really expect, because they mentioned something about the ships in the harbor with the cannons and like that, and then you just totally forget about it by this time.
Yeah, because you don't care. You have other things to worry about.
They do another huge lead up to the fight, march through the building and all of that stuff that really takes your mind off anything but that confrontation. Yeah.
Cannons. Yeah. My next note just says, what the hell is happening? Because that's basically how I was feeling. All right. So the cannons are going off. There's dust, dirt. Nobody can see anything. But that Amsterdam and the butcher are still going to fight. They are, this is serious. This is sophisticated. This is the noble way to do it, or whatever they say, honorable or whatever from the beginning. So they do. You see the butcher come run up and slice the back of Amsterdam's leg, and then do it again, and it's very intense, and at that point I was just holding my breath. I'm like, well, this is not gonna have a happy ending. It's not. I mean, again, it doesn't really, but Amsterdam does get to stab the butcher. So we do get that revenge, or avenge of his father's death, or whatever you want to call it. Either way, that does happen, even though it doesn't happen in the
traditional way.
Yeah.
It's sort of hollow because the cannons helped.
Between the cannons helping and it doesn't matter. He got to stab him. Okay, he got to put the blade into the butcher, who frickin' deserved it because he was just a bad person.
Ruthless is a great word.
Yeah. All right, and then let's talk about Jenny, because she's walking back into the scene now. So Jenny tried to escape and run off to San Francisco when Amsterdam was hurt with his stomach wound
when he was
and
recovering.
all of that. Yes. Jenny was basically saying, hey, I saved 10 cents from every dollar that I have made since I was like a kid. I've got all this money. Let's go to San Francisco. You can find gold in the rivers and stuff like that. And she is just ready to go.
Yeah.
And he is, no, I am doing this duel. I am doing this fight. We will go after. So anyway, she packs up her bag, which probably has all her money in it. She's dressed, whatever, and she's trying to get down to the docks in the middle of all this fighting and
riots,
chaoticness. Yeah. Yes. She tried to get to the docks. But at one point, someone goes, grab her briefcase, suitcase, whatever. She ends up without it. She got robbed. The pickpocketer got robbed.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's poetic justice, isn't it?
Sure.
You know? I did feel a little bit bad, though, because she was really trying to escape that life, you know. But you're leaving at the worst possible time. Man, you should have just stayed inside or something, waited it out for a day. I don't know. Bad idea.
Yeah, the whole city just exploded.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess it just wasn't meant to be for her. She wasn't meant to go there.
Now,
and then it's really sad at the end, you know. Everybody's basically dead, and they're laying candles on it so you can see the person that you're weeping over. Just... Ugh.
I choose to believe that Jenny had the money on her person and not in the bag. You know, like just like
they
she did
didn't
with all the
leave New
necklaces.
York, so I'm saying no. Like
You
she
know
got
what?
robbed.
You don't really know what happened afterwards.
I don't know. We're sitting there watching the grass grow over the gravestones, so I'm gonna say they never made it out of New York. Because I don't believe this movie had a happy ending. Just saying. And that's it. That's, you know, we get to watch everybody die. Amsterdam do a nice little monologue at the end, and that's it. It's over. Watch the butcher buried next to the priest from earlier, and just the city grow around it, and everyone kind of forget the history behind it.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's a hell of an ending. I like.
It was an intense ride of a movie from start to finish. It really was. For how long it was and how much of it was based on talking, was a very intense movie.
The visuals there at the end with the
Yeah.
evolution of New York, and like where all that happened, and like he says, you know, just washed over by history, and
Yeah.
you know.
You watch the skyline start growing, bridges come in, and the gravestones in the front part of the scene just start breaking apart and getting overgrown with weeds and all that, and it's doesn't leave a good feeling in your stomach. It really doesn't.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So that's it, right?
That's it.
All right, so that wraps up the Under a Rock review of Gangs of New York. So as usual, I like to say, you know, thank you for watching Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Let's jump right to our bonus review questions. Did you like it?
The movie was very well done. I did not like it. It just bummed me out.
That's great.
It really did.
So it's effective, basically.
I guess, because at the end of that movie, I was just depressed. I was like, you know, what's the point of anything right now? You know,
it got a
can't
reaction
climb
from
that can't climb that ladder and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was just horrible. But it was really well done.
Okay.
You know, the writing, the storyline, it's great. But I didn't like the movie.
All right. What did you know about Gangs of New York going in?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I had no idea besides what you told me right before we clicked play,
Okay.
which you didn't really tell me anything about it.
No?
No.
Okay. Your thoughts going in then?
Nothing. I just... here we
I
go.
love it. Nothing.
No, because you asked me right before we watched the movie if I had seen Goodfellas. Or if I... Yeah.
If
I
you
had
remember much of Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Because I know I've made Naomi watch Goodfellas, which absolutely sucks in the context of the Under a Rock reviews, because I would love to do Goodfellas fresh,
Yeah.
but I know I made you watch
Yes, because
most of it.
you asked me like if I saw it or if I remembered it. And I said, yeah, the guy getting stabbed in the stomach, because that's all that sticks out in my head, and I don't like it. It's so gross to me. And I just turned
opening scene.
I just turned to you and I was like, is there going to be a lot of that in this movie? And like, so that is all I knew going into this movie, and it wasn't a good representation of what I was going to see or anything like that.
Okay.
So,
what surprised you about it?
I don't know how deep it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be some story, you know? I wasn't going
Story.
to get involved in this and then feel bad about my life afterwards.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger? And let me pick the age here. Let's say 17.
I wouldn't have liked it then either, but I wouldn't have liked it because I probably would have thought it was boring.
Yeah.
Because, again, there is a lot of talk in between all the fighting and all of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of talk that you have to pay attention to understand what's going on in the movie. And I think as a 17-year-old, there is no way that wouldn't go over my head.
Understood. The first time I watched it, so 2002, I probably didn't actually watch it until way later. So let's say mid-20s, something like that.
Yeah.
And still kind of the same reaction where I almost didn't really care for it. And then I don't know what it was, but one day, like, it had just got in my head. And I was like, I need to watch that again.
Yeah.
And when I watched it again, I was like, man, that is so good.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just a bummer.
It
It's
is.
such a downer.
All right. What was your favorite part?
Oh,
After you
gosh.
just said how, it bums you out. So
Yeah.
what is your favorite part of it, though?
Honestly, I think my favorite part was that twist where Amsterdam goes to kill the butcher, and like you really think that that's gonna happen. He pulls off that knife so fast and throws it like it's gonna stab the butcher, and it's gonna be, the movie's gonna have a completely different ending because Amsterdam is gonna be the powerhouse now in the 5 Points area. But no, that's not what happens. The butcher gets him and stabs him in the stomach. Like, that was such an intense twist.
That's a wound.
Oh, gosh.
Daniel Day-Lewis, probably the best actor of all time. I think it's like a consensus at this point because
Okay.
he's just won about 11 Oscars and all that stuff. But, the method acting and all that, he just, you see pictures of Daniel Day-Lewis and you're like, who the hell is that? Oh, my God.
That's that guy.
Pretty crazy. So,
Yeah.
all right, least favorite part, I probably would guess the ending for you, but...
The ending, but I would say just the storyline was my least
just
favorite
like
part.
all the political strife and unrest and just
Yeah.
how it was the city was not civilized at that point.
At that point, but it just made me like get all deep and think that this has been going on for so long that we're just always gonna all be fighting all the time, no
how
matter
stupid
what.
the
We're
actual
just
fighting
gonna
is.
we're just gonna change the direction, and the people that should have been fighting, the people that were basically pulling the strings of all the townspeople, are safe.
Yeah.
They're fine. They don't have to worry about this while these gangs and tribes are basically fighting it out in the streets. And it was just, oh my gosh.
The most political conversation we have ever had in the history of Luke and Naomi.
Yes, it really is.
Crazy, right?
And it's because of this movie. And it was just the idea that this stuff doesn't change. Like, we're always going to be fighting.
So
that
sucks.
sucks.
That's your least favorite part. It's a good least favorite part to have, I suppose. All right, moving along from that, would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it after the last two answers?
Depends on who that person was. Let me say that. I do think it'd be a good movie to like kind of make you think a little bit. But I don't want to bum out everybody either. I like to try to stay at least positive unless we're talking about AI stuff. So this one, in most cases, would probably not recommend it.
No, even for the history and stuff like that and
Yeah.
the acting and...
Again,
It's such a good movie.
It depends on the person. I've got a handful of people that I'd be like, yes, watch it if you haven't seen it. But the majority of people, I'd just be like, no, you don't need to. You don't need to feel like that for a couple of weeks thinking about just everything.
Political strife.
Yeah.
Would you watch it again?
That's the best way to sum that up. Thank you for using that multiple times. Yeah. What did you say? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Would you watch it again?
No.
Never again.
I don't need to.
Oh,
I don't need a good cry in my life.
Would you stop and watch it if it's on TV?
No.
Are you happy you watched it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, interesting answers.
Yeah.
I would say.
Tough going from Blazing Saddles to that one.
Well, we talked about what we were going to do for the next movie, and Naomi's like, let's do something, we can do something more serious, more heavy now, and we had the time and all of that, so we got one of the heavier ones in, which is great. I have seen, this is the 4th or 5th time I've watched that. I love the history of it. I mean, you know what happens in the actual real world and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It is just a corner of history that, I mean, I grew up in New York State and still don't know a ton about, the rise of New York City, basically, which is just really, the history is fascinating to me. So I can see why I can, get down with watching that over. And plus, I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis in that role, whether, you like Bill the Butcher or not, holy crap, he's just so good.
It's such a bummer,
Well, if you let it bum you out, it is.
There are so many bummer moments in that movie.
True.
Whether you just take it at surface value or if you look at it deeper, like, it's
Either way,
just a bummer.
It's a great point. It really is a great point that it is that kind of a. But I mean, hey, history. Country was built on everybody's blood, good and bad.
Yeah.
Right. So. Well, good thoughts on Gangs of New York. One of my, it keeps happening, but one of my favorite reviews from you yet.
All right.
Yeah, pretty cool. I like the fact that you liked the movie, but you didn't like the movie.
Yeah. Again, the movie was so well done, but I just did not like the movie.
It's a nice, complex answer for a nice, artsy-fartsy movie. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But Gangs of New York, that does it for our review of Gangs of New York.
What the heck do we get ourselves into next week?
What do we do next week? Eventually, I'll get a list up on our Facebook page. But.
Yeah, because Luke does have a list in his phone, and we usually, we'll sit down to watch a movie, and we just start reading through them to see what sparks our interest.
The deciding factors are generally, time, what kind of genre Naomi's feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And then, what we've watched recently, because we don't want to do too many goofy comedies or pile on too many 80s movies where you got the old 80s movie effect going on for too long. So we like to try to jump around and switch it up and stuff like that. Again, you can leave suggestions for movies anywhere that you can comment on any of our stuff.
Do Spotify and really mess up Luke.
we do get the notifications, so we'll know if somebody, if you comment.
We just got to go find it.
on YouTube or on whatever post on Luke and Naomi on air and all of that stuff. Quickly, before we jump into Thought of the Day and whatnot, I am honestly thinking of dropping the whole TikTok situation.
Oh, you mean like taking us off TikTok?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I'm feeling I cannot stand being on TikTok anymore. At first I liked it and kind of whatever. And now, I mean, it's the worst cesspool of any social medias I've been on.
Worse than Twitter?
For some reason, for whatever reason, the algorithm just feeds me, I mean, awful stuff.
Huh.
And I can't figure out why, and it's just terrible.
Maybe it doesn't like you because it hears you talk crap about it. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to show you stuff you don't even want to see.
Maybe.
Here you go.
Maybe, but...
I don't know. We are not very good at keeping up with that. And why try to keep up with 300 things when you can't get YouTube videos up?
Well, exactly. So, and then the other thing is, I mean, Facebook's got their Reels now. So when I do find myself watching short videos, it's there.
Yeah.
Anyway. And we have never been on Instagram. So if anything, maybe we move over to Instagram. So we're on Facebook and Instagram wherever the actual people are. And, then we can get more of our photos out there. We can still do short videos and all of that stuff. And it just feels like a better space. So I would love to hear everybody's, thoughts on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not on TikTok at all and you never will be, well, then that helps make that decision for us.
Yeah. But if you're like, dude, no, you guys are missing the opportunity. You need to be on TikTok, then I guess we'll suck it up and
Let's hear.
do it.
I really
Yeah.
would love to hear some opinions and all of that. It's not a decision that we're going to drop immediately. You know, it will take some
It's
time.
not like we've been spending that much
Exactly.
time on there anyways.
Exactly. It's
you
not
know?
like I'm constantly on the TikTok anyway. So,
Yeah.
just a thought. Wanted to throw it out there, see what everybody thought, and get everybody's opinion on that one.
Yeah. Add that to the comment section of Spotify.
It's wherever you drop a comment.
Yeah.
Look for the post for your homework for next week.
That's right.
What's something you used to order at a bar that you would never order now?
Oh, that's going to be fun.
I mean, even if it's like chicken wings. Now I'm off of chicken wings. I found a head in my wings, so I'm never going to eat chicken wings again.
Yeah. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know?
Limes in your drink because they just touch them with their bare hands.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
The alcohol kills the germs. That's cool.
That's right. So should have the question on Spotify as you're listening right now. It should be on Facebook as you're listening right now. It's not on YouTube because I haven't caught up with the damn videos yet. But I'm working on it. I put another one up last week. We're at 35.
Nice.
I'm only
10 behind.
Yeah.
Less than 10 behind.
you're
Look at
getting
you.
closer every week or
Yeah.
farther away. I'm not good at math.
I guess not.
So, all right.
All right. It's time for your thought of the day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
This is a good one for you.
All right.
38 years of evolution, yet Windows still can't tell you what program is using the USB device you tried to eject.
Hey.
I have never ripped a UPS, USB, UBS, a USB out of my computer so fast after fighting with it, after exiting out of everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I don't even care anymore.
Corrupt my data.
That's right.
Get bent. Literally.
Oh,
Good
my
one.
gosh. Luke, are you going to leave us with a laugh?
I'm going to do my best. Thank you again to Brian in England. The book is The 100 Greatest Dad Jokes of All Time, assembled by Victor Jr. If you don't like him, write him and not me. You ready?
Yeah.
Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
I don't know.
Because he was outstanding in his field.
That's so stupid.
It is like the first ever dad joke, isn't
That's
it?
up there, yeah.
Why do skeletons never go trick-or-treating?
I don't know.
Because they have nobody to go with.
That's stupid, too. Come on.
What did the drummer call his twin daughters?
I don't know.
Anna 1, Anna 2.
That's so stupid. No. Oh, God. That was like the worst set of them that you've ever done, I think.
I'm enjoying them.
Oh, of course you are.
Butt drugs. I hope everybody enjoyed the butt drugs jingle. I hope you enjoyed the Under a Rock review of Gangs of New York, one of the more serious ones we've done. I mean, between that and the Green Mile, I think, right? Those are up there.
We're getting deep.
We're getting deep. Next week we'll come back with something just Revenge of the
Stupid.
Nerds or something like that. Oh man, we don't know what we're doing next week, but please stick around for episode 45. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for sticking with us through 44 episodes. Don't forget, of course, to tell your friends.
And your family.
Luke and Naomi on air anywhere you would look for Luke and Naomi on air. I guess does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Just Google it.
Yeah. We
Find us
come up.
anywhere you get your podcasts, of course, and keep checking out the YouTube page because I'm catching
You're
up.
getting there.
I'm
yeah.
catching up. Thank you all again so much for sticking with us through 44 episodes. We will talk to y'all next week. Until then, have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.